fine. What are you smelling her hoo-ha for?
I'm just saying. I was the one that was nice.
What's that?
I tried to get her to take a shower, and she was like, "No, it's okay. I'll just wait."
Yeah, sure she was. Yeah, I heard about your little vote. Trust me, I hear everything.
That's what Tony said.
Your boyfriend betrays you. There you go. Thank you.
If you listen to the games, you would know he betrayed you.
I know he betrayed me. I'm just giving you shit. Your character's got to wear a dress. Badger's got to shave his pubes. I mean, just stuff you guys don't want to do. I mean, come
on. Yeah, I don't think so.
We're 8 minutes in. It's already worse than your game.
Which game's that?
Chad's game. Somebody said something very mild, and I said it can't be worse than my game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that's why you didn't invite me to play, Chad. Well, fuck you too. You're like, my friends would shit themselves. I'm done. No, I'm messing with you. I can't. I'm playing 2 games a week. That's my limit right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. 2 games a week is. You need to start DMing. When are you gonna start doing that?
We're gonna take a break here, probably at the end of the month, from the Wednesday game, and I'm gonna DM Sunless Citadel.
Awesome.
So you can fit in a 3rd game, Matt. After your wife texts your commander that you gave a hand job to a homeless guy, I feel like you can guilt trip her into letting you play a 3rd game.
Yeah, not my commander, but yes, I probably very easily could until next week when she gets over the guilt, and then's all like, no.
His wife texted his boss that he gave a hand job to a homeless guy.
Wow, nice.
She thought she was texting Tony in her defense.
All right. In fairness. So, there is the map where we started, or where you guys last played. So, it's been, I believe, 2 weeks. So, quick recap. And you guys had left from the Spire on Hippogriffs and tracked down in teams of, I believe, 3. Pretty sure it was 3, possibly 2. Regardless, you guys started trying to track. I did not do that, for the record, Matt.
I know. I opened up my character sheet and everything was 0.
Okay, so you guys did manage to track down the Manticore, and you did corner him down here at the plateau, where you took turns running swiping attacks on him, and was able to finally, with the Wand of Magic Missile you took from the Lord of Lance Rock, get a killing blow on the Manticore. The killing blow, I believe, went to Malachi.
Yeah, that's right.
If I recall correctly. But on the upside, there's 2 good things about this. We quit right after that. You guys were heading back to the Spire. I believe a total of 3 of the knights were injured. Ogie was injured, and 1 other person may have been mildly injured. I don't recall. Maybe not at all. Additional person. But, so it was I thoroughly enjoyed that encounter, especially because most groups don't actually make it that far. But there was 1 additional advantage from last week, and don't tell Malachi, I want to surprise him. It took a little effort, and we did get Malachi to open up out of his shell last week. But I was able to extrapolate some sound effects from that game. Stand by.
Yellow. Hey.
Oh, no. I can barely hear it.
Hey. Yellow. Hey.
That is perfection.
That's hilarious.
I do believe he said that was the spell effect command word for his Searing Flame. So, went ahead and extrapolated that. But, we're going to pick up this game as you guys reach the Spire and land your mounts. Matt's connecting and disconnecting. I believe he's having character issues there.
No, I loaded the second time, and there was like 100 runtime errors that populated, so I just got out again, tried and deleted my cache folder.
Alrighty, so
there you go.
You guys, that's where we're going to start. We're going to go ahead and start. Matt, you can hop in when you're ready.
I'm here.
So you guys ride your mounts back to the back to the pinnacle where you land your hippogriffs. You can close the other map. That was just for the recap there. And you land your mounts there at the pinnacle, as do the knights. The 2 knights that were injured that stayed start getting off their mounts a little quicker. There is the one knight who was basically aerial mauled by the Manticore is receiving treatment, but he doesn't look like he's at death's door quite. As you do land, Thurl Mikasa, excuse me there, Thurl Maraska makes his way over and starts to ask how the hunt went, and he notices the head and cheers you guys and says, "You guys managed to kill it." He asked if anybody was injured.
I wasn't here, so I don't know.
Dimble will step forward and he says, other than your pilot there, everyone was fine. We killed it.
So he helps some of you down and begins telling you getting the full story, and he starts cheering, and then some of the other people from the feast are making their way up as they start hearing you guys return, and they start clapping and telling you guys good job, and even the knights that were with you attest that they probably couldn't have brought it down without you. They number of the knights and take the mounts from you and hand them over to squires, and you guys are led back by the cheering crowd down the stairs to the feast hall where you guys were actually feasting. Let's see if I can pull the feast map up. Should be, I believe it's 3. I was incorrect. I believe it's 2. So as you guys are making your way back to the feast hall there, you're able to recount your entire story. Does anybody want to recount anything specifically?
I don't think so.
I think Shaban would
Take a bath.
Yeah, besides that, I assume there's time before the feast, once we land, to take a bath and get cleaned up.
The feast is over.
Okay.
It already took place. This happened the report of the Manticore happened at the end of the feast.
Okay, so is it just a bunch of people staying around?
The knights from the feast.
Okay.
The feast was a celebration of the 10th anniversary of this order.
Okay, she will, Shaban would stand up and very grandiosely do a Hold on a second. I'm sorry, in case you guys, I told Tony already, my wife had to go to an adoption at the courthouse, and so I'm one-on-one with the boy, and he's trying to get YouTube. So Shaban, I'll roll in a second, will give a play-by-play on what happened, especially to embarrass Matthias a little bit. Play up Matthias's role, and especially describing like the killing blow, almost Bard-like, I guess. Hold on. Yeah, nice. I'll take it.
Nicely done. So, that's not anywhere near as jolly as I would like. Let's see if we can pull something else up. But the knights all listen to your story, and they definitely, shortly after you start the story in general, they start to cheer at the parts that warrant the cheering. They are pretty excited, and round of applause. Everyone making their way over to Matthias, to his great chagrin, clapping him on the back, cheering him. See if we can get him to be here for that. He's just connecting, so let's stop for just a second. We want him to get the full enjoyment.
User joined your channel.
He's here!
Huzzah!
Sorry about that.
The our killer! We're toasting your great performance, sir.
Oh, great.
Shaban very extravagantly has described the entire battle, including your final crushing blow to the evil manticore that had harassed the local villages and local livestock around this area.
So it's fair to say that I'm quite flustered.
The entire retinue, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 12 knights and Savra, we're just, you guys just reached the pinnacle and turned over your mounts, and they made their way back down to the feast hall. And Shaban told a very eloquent, very skilled recounting of your flight and battle, with very strong accentuations on your skill at the killing of the manticore there, Matthias, and everyone's making their way over to pat you on the back and cheer your skill in battle and your great deeds and heroics.
Oh dear.
Doing their best to, maybe go all the way around here to stay away from Lady Shaban's odor.
Ooh.
So after the cheering, Thurl kind of motions the knights to make their way back to their tables, and he expresses his great thanks for the service you've done, not only the order, but the surrounding homesteads and the people that the travelers and merchants that particular creature probably would have harassed and possibly even killed. And he pulls his ring, his bejeweled ring with the garnet on it, off of his finger and hands it over to Matthias. And I have added it to your sheath there, Matthias.
Alrighty.
It's just labeled bejeweled ring. He gives it to you for the killing blow. If you want to share it with your compatriots, that is your discretion. Now, other than that, we have the group here. Now, after you guys, I'm presuming they refill your goblets, they offer you more food. Thurl makes sure, because the commander offers to provide you safe harbor here for the night. You can stay here and eat your fill in the morning, restock your supplies of trail rations and torches and any general supplies you need before heading out. And as you guys are eating a little more, the knights start to file out a little bit. And he does say that he has a proposition for you. If you're willing to listen, that is.
Dimble will lean in and nod vigorously.
Pulling up a map real quick, he leans over and says that he is willing to offer safe harbor continuously here at Feathergale Spire for you and the entire group in exchange for any information you gather and about whatever is going on around here. He says the downside of having a base like this is they don't have the ability to make their way out and gather information. He was able to acquire and think over some stuff and look at some information, and he believes he has some information that may help you, but he is offering in exchange for information safe harbor here. Not like any specific piece, just if you guys are passing back through and you need safe harbor, he's happy to provide you safe harbor, but he would request that you provide information for the goings-on around the valley outside of their patrol area.
I'm okay with that.
I'd like
That
to.
seems fair.
I'd like to do an insight check and see if I can figure out what his purpose is here. I'm not sure I quite trust him yet.
Seems legit.
He's down like you small. So from what you can tell, he is definitely what he seems to be. He's telling you everything he said seems legit. He's the leader of an order, and his primary concern is gathering information because, as he said before, they don't patrol too far out just because of the fragility of his people if they were to be dismounted.
I'll look over to Shaban, raise my eyebrows.
Siobhan gives a very, I guess, subtle nod of her head to Badger. I don't see it would be an issue, she would say she doesn't see there's an issue with giving him information that as needed, or as we acquire it.
Badger sticks out his hand vigorously and says, "It's a deal!"
He reaches forward his now ringless hand and shakes Badger's hand and anyone else who wants to offer it up as just a courtesy, but he does use that see that as acceptance and of the deal, and he will honor his side. But he does say, as far as information, he talked to a couple of his scouts, and he says that one thing he has noticed, and I don't believe you were here before, Matt. I believe I moved that G to the wrong spot. I was moving some tokens around. Might not be. But the G is where you guys found some graves. The graves you guys found, I'll catch you up on here in a minute. But the F is Feathergale Spire, and the P is the party. The information, he sits down and he says that he's talked to a couple people, and he's learned that the river, the Desserin Valley River there, is patrolled by riverboats that move up and down the river. There are merchants that move up and down the river, selling things as well as providing transportation. They go up as far, he guesses, provides a lot of supplies to the dwarves at the Vale of Dancing Waters, but he would guess they probably go up as far as Dietar. And that's all the way up there. And that's a pretty big town. It's city even. But he was thinking it over, and if the delegation were to have left Beliard and been attacked, and this is a good time to catch Shaban up real quick. In the graves, you guys went there, you were led out by a shepherd. In the graves, you found 4 bodies. One was a dwarf dressed in artisan robes with the axe of Mirabar. Another was a female human warrior with a black surcoat with the axe of Mirabar. And then there was one dressed in stony armor actually made of stone, and one in white feathery robes. And after you talked to the commander here, you learned that they had an encounter with a number of people carrying prisoners, and they were overwhelmed by the magic casting ability of the people and killed one of their. And then you guys provided the location of the graves so they could retrieve the body. But he believes that these boats that travel up and down may have information, because the Desserin Valley River there, the Desserin River, is more like the Mississippi. It's definitely not something you can swim across or even ford across. It's a massive river. The only places you're going to cross is the Stone Bridge up north, or down there at the Iron Ford, which is another bridge of sorts. So he would say that his guess is that they crossed the river with those prisoners at some point, and if they had gone through a town, it would have spread by now. So he is guessing that they crossed by boat, and all of the boats are based out of Wamford. The barge ride in down south isn't really have anything to do with the river, but Wamford is. Where all the boats put in, it's the primary site. And he talked to a couple of his more traveled people, and then he knows that there are some boats that they consider to be possibly not on the up and up down in Wamford, led by a water genocide. He doesn't know the name, but he said it's a lead that he can give you. He doesn't know if it'll lead you anywhere, he doesn't know if it's related, but that's the best he could probably speculate on what happened.
That's great information.
He says that's about all he has to offer, other than a warm bed and hot food in the morning before you head out.
Ogie says thank you very much.
He nods his head and says thank you for everything you did tonight. And he offers to have Lieutenant Savra escort you back to your rooms. Unless somebody has something they want to ask or say or do, and I unlocked the player's guide someone asked about.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we should probably definitely rest up if we don't have any more questions.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so you guys are escorted. I'm going to go ahead and apply a long rest for the purposes. If you have spells and you wish to change them, now would be your opportunity. Just real quick, I just thought of it as I opened up your character sheet there, Matthias. I made a correction to your sheet. I went over everybody's sheet just to check and make sure nobody was shortchanging themselves. And I found error. One thing I'm not sure how you're applying, but I wanted you to be aware of it. Because you have the discipline of life, whenever you cast a spell, and I noticed this when that restores hit points to a creature, the hit points are equal, regains additional 2+ spell level. So for example, on your spells, Cure Wounds level 1, the standard is supposed to be 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So for you, that's a 4. So it should be 1d8 plus 4, but because it's a level 1 spell and you have Disciple of Life, it should be 1d8 plus 7. Because you get an additional 3 if cast at a level 1, 4 if cast at level 2.
Wow.
I went ahead and modified that in case you didn't want to mess with it. I can show you how I did it. I just went ahead and played with it a little bit. So you should be granting an additional 3 hit points for Healing Word and Cure Wounds on top of any spell any healing spell you cast.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
The only other thing of note is I encountered this on my own playing a cleric, is that the spell, when you're memorizing your spells, the spell Prayer of Healing looks amazing until you read the casting time. So be careful taking that spell as a memorized spell of one of your second levels.
Okay.
It's a 10-minute cast.
And Matthias is out of combat.
Yep.
I know this
Renege all the
because
fights.
I play a cleric on a Sunday game every couple weeks. I jump in, help them out. I tried to cast that in a big battle they started that they shouldn't have, and it turns out it's a 10-minute cast.
Well, that was my bad.
This is my bad too.
I didn't even know it.
I didn't either, but that's what you get for not reading it. I should have read it, and I tried to cast it. By the way, some of them may have died, but that's not my fault. They picked a fight with 15 zombies and an ogre.
That's easy.
At level 2.
Hey, question real quick before we push on. Did anything happen the last 2 that I missed as far as like leveling? Are we still at level 3?
You are.
Everybody else at level 4?
No.
Okay.
Why do you assume just because I said you are, it implies other people aren't?
Because I know how you phrase stuff. I know how Tony phrases shit.
Wow, man.
Like, you can detect no traps in this. You motherfucker.
You can do anything you want.
I'm a nice person.
No, you're not. Even your girlfriend agrees with that. You're not.
That's fair. I own that. So, as you guys are resting up in the morning, I mean, you guys are woken up pretty early. These guys get up pretty early anyways, and it's hard to sleep when people are up moving around or kids are playing with magic tracks or other assorted distractions. The Lieutenant Savra, young lady, comes to your room and asks if you guys need any supplies replenished before you head out.
How are we doing on food?
Yeah, I was just gonna look at that. I have 10 rations.
I have 10 rations as well. Don't we have some crazy-ass rations?
You have Oglavone, who can scavenge rations pretty successfully, if I recall correctly.
Okay. I think we should be good then.
Okay. Now, if you think of anything, let me know. You can look over your inventory. If there's anything you think you might want or don't know if you might want, it's just general goods. It's nothing fancy, weapons and armor. So Lieutenant Savra shuts the door and says that she thinks she may have information that may help you guys. And she seems very impressed with all of you, especially Matthias, being a priest or cleric of Lathander, manticore killing, walk on water god, according to Shaban's speech last night. And so she seems quite impressed with Matthias specifically, but the group as a whole. So she's talking to you guys primarily, as I said, focused on Matthias, like she's telling him, but you guys are kind of there. She lets you guys know that she's not sure of this. It's just some information that she has heard, but she knows there's a reclusive group of monks that live in the mountains nearby. The only thing she knows is that she was injured a year-ish ago, and she was looking for rest, and she was able to get some safe harbor at their monastery. And she didn't stay there long. They were able to provide her with a healing potion and tend to her mount. But she knows that they worship the power of Earth. They worship the Earth. She didn't see any evil intent. She didn't see any of the people that they have encountered, but she knows that they exist, and it's something that stuck out in her head, and she wants to provide you guys, specifically Matthias, as much aid as she can in return for your assistance fighting the Manticore. She also goes on to suggest that if you guys wanted, she would be willing to put in a good word for you with the commander if you wanted to ever consider joining. And she makes an off-the-cuff statement about how clearly the power of air is vastly superior to the power of earth. And she marks on your map that the monastery is located about right here.
I wanted to see how reverent she is with the power of air comment.
I mean,
like,
it's an off-the-cuff
zealous
comment.
Or is it just kind of like, oh, power of air is better?
It doesn't seem zealous. There's not a whole lot of zealotry there that you can detect.
God damn it.
Okay. Can she marked it on our map for us? I see it, the M.
Correct.
Okay. So it's up by the Vale of Dancing Waters?
They're not related. The only way to access the Vale is from along the riverbank, and she mentions that she doesn't know, but there's a path that leads up to it about like that.
Okay.
Dimble will run over to Oglavone and say, "Can we join? Can we join the group? Please, please, please!"
Oglavone says, not right now.
Dimble says, "Okay."
Shaban Shaban catches Dimble's eye and gives a real quick, subtle shake of her head and like, no. I mean, that.
It's just mean.
She hasn't had a bath. I mean, she's probably very grumpy.
Keep talking shit.
All right, should we be on our way?
Yeah. Where do you guys want to go to? To the monastery or back to Red Larch? Let them know that I would say personally, go back to those damn graves and take them back to Red Larch so they have some sort of proof that these guys, or at least let them know that they're not coming back.
That was just 2 people. I mean, they were bringing an entire caravan. You're missing about 23 out of 25.
Well, do we either want to go to Wormford or?
Yeah, we had been talking about going to the Barge Right Inn in Womford, and then from there heading up to Summit Hall, because we assumed that the dwarves were going to Summit Hall. I think that ultimately that was their destination.
Yeah.
So we figured we would come across them at some point.
And we were also hoping to ask about that dwarven book we found.
Aha, right.
What dwarven book?
We got a dwarven book from the guy that sells stuff in Red Larch. Valivo, there you go. And it was incredibly ornate. This manuscript with gold leaf. A peddler had bought it from a keelboat skipper in Womford. Peddler had dozens of them, and he offered to sell it for 50 gold, but he allowed us to borrow it instead. But it's on the genealogical history of the families of Mirabar, and this delegation was from Mirabar.
Yeah, did we get who sold it to the merchant down in Wormford?
Yeah, it was a keelboat skipper. So some of the guys that I think the guy just told us about on the river.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think we should probably go down to Wormford first before looking at that monastery, because everything seems to point at that somehow that they were on the river. These people said that they believe that they came down the Desserin River. This book came from a town on the Desserin River, especially if they took a barge down. That would be a logical stopping place, or if they dropped them off somewhat higher than there, then somebody down there may know. And worst comes to worst, we can take a barge up to the monastery Vale of Dancing Waters area.
Makes a ton of sense to me.
Sounds good.
Augie?
Sorry, sounds good to me too.
Okay, and I guess that's the game plan then.
Okay, and the next curiosity I have is, by what route?
Do we want to go by the graves again, or do we want to head straight south until we hit the Cairn Road?
Were we able to inspect the graves to see if there's anything we could take as proof that they were from Mirabar, besides just us looking at them? Because Red Larch doesn't seem to want to act on anything unless they have proof.
They're acting. They sent you.
Yeah, but they won't. Oh, your word's not good enough. What do you have for hard evidence?
I think, if I recall correctly, the corpses were mostly looted / stripped of anything that could be identifying besides like clothing. But someone can correct me if I'm wrong there.
The only thing you saw were their badges that were on their clothing.
Did we grab one of the badges?
I
Or both of them?
Don't recall.
So there was a dwarf and 2 humans, per my notes. The dwarf had bloody robes of a blacksmith artisan, small embroidered axe of Mirabar. Female human with the mark of Mirabar, clearly a warrior. Then a human dressed in a black cloak with the symbol carved in 3 victims' heads, wearing strange stony armor with the same symbol. So the stone armor that we saw before.
Okay. Or the symbol was what we saw before.
Yes.
Okay. Did we happen to take those badges or patches or whatever?
No.
Okay. If it's I would suggest that we swing by there real quick and get those patches to turn into Red Larch, because I know I just got in here, but I don't really 100% trust these dudes. Because just as saying, what happened if they were the ones who attacked them? I doubt it, because the guy's wearing stone armor. Seems like stone armor is not too common, and that may be these monks of stone or earth worship, blah blah blah.
I'm fine with that. It's not gonna take that much longer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on the
because
way.
we can go straight to the road and straight down from there.
It's fine.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys head out. You hit the graves and dig them back up, and same bodies: the human female, human male, and then what you now know to be the Feathergale Knight, and the dwarf in his robes. They don't look like they've been disturbed since you were here a day-ish ago.
So the Feathergale Knight so there's 4 bodies in there?
There are 4 bodies. 1
Okay.
dwarf, 3 humans. 2, the dwarf is the artisan, blacksmith artisan style, with
Yeah.
bloody robes. 1 human female warrior from Mirabar, and 1 in rocky armor in addition to the apparent Feathergale Knight.
Okay. Okay. Then, on is there the symbol? Do we have anybody who could be an artist by chance? Can trace that symbol so we can present it in Red Larch, or just because
It's a very well-known symbol. It's known as the Axe of Mirabar. It's so well-known that their army is known as the Axe of Mirabar.
No, I'm talking about the stone dude.
Gotcha. My mistake. That was the same symbol you saw on the heads.
Yeah. Okay. And he has it engraved on his armor anywhere else?
Just on his armor that you could tell.
Okay, is it like on his chest piece, shoulder piece?
It's right in the middle of his chest piece.
Yeah, I don't feel like humping that around. Augie, do you want to hump it around?
Sure, I'll hump it.
I meant carry it, but yeah,
Quote of
you
the
do what
night.
you gotta do, Augie.
That was early.
Oh, it started before you got here.
He's not lying. It started pretty early.
So is it about as heavy as chest, like breastplate, or is it going to be a lot heavier because it's stone?
It's pretty heavy. I mean, you can carry it should you desire, but
Okay, I would just, yeah. Okay, let's just leave it there, but we'll.
I mean, you could use a little bit of. You can chip it off all the way around. It is stone, but
Okay, yeah, let's do that then. Who's got strength?
I have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
muscles.
Yeah, I guess we'll do what we can. Okay, if very delicately. Well, Augie's not really delicate. I guess Shaban. We don't have a chisel or anything, but yeah, we'll try to break it out of there in one piece.
okay. It doesn't take too much effort. It's pretty solid, and Oglavone is incredibly skilled with a hammer. Split a guy in half with it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't take massive amount of effort to chip that out. Then you get it chipped out and take the little symbol there.
I dropped the hammer.
It's not
Splitting
lying.
people left and right.
Watch your feet.
All right, so you guys do that, and presuming you rebury them under the rocks, or not, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
just-
yeah.
We
Absolutely.
rebury him so the Feathergale Knights can come here and do what
Okay.
they do.
So from here, where are you guys intending to travel by what route?
Quickest way to the road, I assume, and then down.
Quickest way to the road would probably be about like that.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. What is the X there again? The square around it?
I believe that was the bandit hideout you encountered. I believe
I
you
got
were
by a bear.
absent. It's true. There was a bear. The bear got free. It dragged a guy off by his leg.
We slaughtered
Nice.
some people. Good times had by all.
Great times had.
As we head out, I'd like to send Greenwing above to kind of scout and look for anything that might be dangerous.
Okay. You send Greenwing up, and you guys make your way down. And you guys, each of these hexes is about 4 miles. You're doing roughly 20 to 24 miles in a day, so definitely not going to be a massive amount of trouble reaching the road and getting some traveling done. You guys don't even make it to the road before Greenwing relays back to you that, and I'm going to use a little circle here, that there is a group of what he describes as angry humans a little bit south of you, but he says they're not walking they're walking away from you. But they look like angry humans is the way Greenwing describes it.
Okay. So I'll communicate that to everybody else and ask, should someone sneak up and scout them out?
Shaban says, yes, we could probably do that. What time of day is it, Tony?
It's maybe approaching noon.
Okay. I'd say let's have Greenwing follow them and let us know, and then I can scout it out during the night. Because they're not going to make any big settlements before nighttime.
Okay, that sounds good. We can have Greenwing stay right over the top of them. High in the air, but in general over the top of them.
Okay. So you guys kind of trail behind them. They make their way down not too far to about right here. And they set up camp for about an hour and eat. And are you guys wanting to just have Greenwing stay there, or are you wanting to... They seem to be camping right on the side of the road.
Well, if they're when they start to set up camp, it's pretty close to, I'd assume, dusk, so I would start moving out slowly.
It's probably closer to about 2 o'clock. They look like they stopped to
wow.
eat.
Okay. Set up camp to eat?
Correct. They didn't set up a whole camp. I mean, they just settled down.
You guys want to just keep following them at a distance?
Whatever you're comfortable doing.
How many, since Greenwing's been following them all night, or all day, how many people are in there?
6.
Do they have any prisoners?
He's not able to discern that. They don't look like they're prisoners. Greenwing's definitely limited by his ability to convey complicated thoughts.
Maybe we should just go see what they're doing.
You guys want to roll up on them?
I do.
You
In a
always do.
non-threatening way. That's
Yes,
even
in
possible.
a non-threatening way. I want to see what's that.
Cool. All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. You guys make your way in their general direction. Are you wanting to approach from the road? How are you wanting to approach them?
I'd say let's approach them from the road, make it look like we just happened to walk up the road.
Should we split up and maybe approach them from 2 different directions and have some of us stay in the bushes so we can back people up if necessary?
Well, I can definitely stay in the bushes. depending on how much vegetation is in the area. But I don't think we should split the party. I mean, especially with this, I think we're going to be better if they seem, because if they happen to be bandits or something similar to that nature, it would be better for us to be, sometimes show of force is better than actually fighting.
Gotcha, makes sense. Let's do that.
Okay. So it doesn't take you guys long, especially with the guidance of Greenwing, to catch up with them. Let's see here. Let's send this to you right now. So that's where Greenwing is. As you can see, he'll slide over there nice and slowly. And you guys are approaching. You can scoot back if you so desire. That's just happened to be where I dropped you. But you can see Greenwing circling ahead, and with Badger knowing where he's at. So he tells you that he's directly above them.
Tell you what, Tony, I'd like to look through Greenwing's eyes just for a moment. Do I see the symbol that we've seen on these stone armored people?
So looking through Greenwing's eyes, you do not. You do not see you do not see that symbol. What you do see, and I'm going to try and pull up a picture here for you, is more along the lines of barbarians. More along the lines of animal pelts, large weapons. Specifically, in this case, you're looking at great axes, spears, things like that. They're wearing armor made of animal skins. They look like they have large sacks with stuff in them, but they don't look in any way that would indicate that they are the symbols, carrying the symbols that you've been looking for. But they definitely don't look like they're out on a peace mission either.
So they're not humans?
They are humans. They're not the humans you've been hearing about.
Okay.
And we can tell which one is the too.
Yeah, he definitely looks a little angrier from Greenwing's perspective. Mind you, Greenwing's a bird. He might be the happiest. It might be Bob Ross. We don't know. But from Greenwing's birdie perspective, he definitely looks like he's the angriest.
All right. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and cast Mage Armor myself.
I just work off the assumption you casted at the beginning of every day.
Okay, good.
It's a safe assumption. As you do make your way around, as Oglavone, you want to give me, if you choose, a stealth check there from your skills as you move up a little closer to see if you can get close without them hearing you. All right, you're able to, from what you can see, get a little closer. They are carrying on a conversation from there in a rough language. And from what you can gather, they're talking about a raid. They've raided something, taken some things, and are heading out.
Crude common?
What's that?
Crude common?
In essence, it's got its own little dialect, but it's crude version of common, which is the language everybody speaks. But they're just carrying on a conversation about some of the actions or activities that took place in the raid they've just committed.
Ogie holds his hand up and looks at the group and kind of gives them a signal of, these people are no good.
Agreed. We should try to subdue them.
Okay.
Shaban
Good.
pulls out her bow and prepares to shoot the angriest human if
Okay.
they do hostile intent, or
So-
we do.
For the most part, you guys have managed to make your way up and not be detected. So let's go ahead, since I'm guessing you guys are going to subdue them with something other than words. Let's go and start off with some initiative rolls, and then we'll do a surprise round as you guys act first, and then we'll get to full combat.
There it is.
There it is.
So maybe we should have a surprise round, and at the top of that, ask them to lay down their arms.
One of you guys want to? I'm not going to. I'll lose the element of surprise.
Well, after the first round.
Okay. So we'll start off at the first round with Shaban. And let's get some nice battle music here.
Is this a surprise round, Tony?
It is.
Okay, Shaban's going to hold on her surprise round only until, because she doesn't know if they're attacking or not, but if they do, if we attack or they attack, then she's going to fire for the surprise round.
For the surprise round, for the purposes of this, it's been clearly communicated, and since it all goes off at once, you don't need to hold. Basically, as far as I understand, you guys are attacking, so it wouldn't take you long to determine that Oglavon's is getting a little violent. So you can go ahead and take your action.
Okay.
Unless I'm not forcing you guys.
I didn't say I was going to be violent yet. I mean, if he wants to be in the bushes for a minute, that's fine.
Okay. Are you
No.
guys attacking?
I thought we were going to ask them to lay their armor down first. I mean, they're obviously probably going to try and kill us after that, but...
No, I was suggesting that we take our surprise round, attack them, and then after that, tell them to surrender. After.
Oh, okay,
Attack
that's my
them.
fault.
No
Yeah, but
worries.
I'm going to wait till Augie actually moves. As soon as she starts moving up there, rah, I'm going to fire.
Is that the sound of Augie?
Ah!
Okay. Just checking. So, do be aware of the cliff here. So you guys are going to be pretty much forced to go up within this line because it's the only way up. You can see the little cliff there. You can climb up, do an acrobatics check, but it would probably behoove you to try and avoid the cliffs to the best of your ability. And it looks like Shaban's going to hold, so I'll hop down to Dimble there.
Okay. I will, I'm gonna move up to here, and I'm gonna cast Suggestion. Is the bee the one that looks like he might be the leader?
That's a good assumption. He looks a little angrier than the other angry people.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Suggestion then. And angriest. Okay, let me target him. I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to tell him, calm yourselves and lay your weapons down.
Give me 1 second. I don't think I've ever went over the spell Suggestion. Let me check that out real quick.
Pursues the course of action described to the best of its ability.
So you
On
tell
the
it to
failed
lay its
save.
weapons down?
Yeah, and to talk with us.
Okay. The angry little large human drops its great axe, and in response, the other 5 of them seem to not enjoy that, and they don't seem to enjoy many things. The magic, the fact that you're not human. They just are very angry about your entire existence at this point, and they pick up, they seem to have spears, and each of them grab their spear and head in your direction, which will occur after the surprise round. But it was actually, you can tell that your spell did have an effect on him there.
Okay. I see the angriest human drop his weapon and kind of like try to surrender, but I see everybody else pick it up, so I would change target to one of the other angry humans and attack.
Okay. Ogie,
Awesome.
you see all that, and it's your turn.
Okay.
I'd attack everyone but the leader.
I did not mean to roll that. Are you guys wanting me to kill him, or just trying to do him, or just do the leader?
No, they look hostile, so
Except for the angriest human.
yeah. Not the bee.
Okay.
All the other
Okay.
ones. The little bee.
That's a definite hit.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay, and then I would fire since I saw him charge up.
We'll just move your...
Not permanently. This is
No,
just
I
for
know,
the
no,
super
I-
pickup.
So,
Alright.
Oglevone drops the hammer, and you're shooting your arrow. Can't even camp around here. People attacking you.
Yeah, first holiday destination.
Well, before we start attacking, I was gonna say something, but I wasn't in the party, and I was like, "How do we know they didn't raid like an orc settlement or something?"
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
We raided the raiders. We saved the people. What the fuck?
Right?
So I guess we're doing this, alright?
Yep, we're doing this.
Hey, Matthias waves his holy symbol, mumbles, "Hey, that sacred flame." Hey, it's canon now. Yellow, "Hey." Was that a success? Yellow, "Hey."
I may or may not have captured that from the last game and turned it into a sound effect.
Dear God.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And I'd like to get credit because it took a lot of work to get the finger snap in there.
Yellow, "Hey."
That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
But yes, that was definite failure on his part with his roll of 2. So you can deal your damage to him as he wonders what in the hell the hey was about.
Okay.
I'm gonna you gonna be moving Greenwig, or you want him out of this battle?
I want him out of the battle.
I presumed. So the angriest human seems to be a little confused there as you tell him to talk and then attack his friends. He seems definitely confused by your wanting to talk, and then his natural response is going to be to fight you. Obviously, he is coerced to talk to you, which the result is leaving him stunned for a round. So his action is going to be nothing this round.
Okay.
Now, he's not sure whether to talk or fight, but your spell basically has left him stunned.
There we
The
go.
confusion being whether to defend his friends or not. Now, this angry human moves to this point and jabs his spear at Oglavone. And you can tell, as they're fighting, that these humans are working in concert. They seem to have worked well together for a long time. They are seeming to have functioned well as a team. And what that does, it functions to give them advantage on attack rolls when at least one of their allies is within 5 feet of the creature they're attacking. So that would be the reason why they're getting advantage. Irregardless, it missed. Which isn't a word, by the way.
I was wondering why you're saying it then.
Check a joke at my work. It drives the guy crazy, so we use it and then say it's not a word.
Alright, Siobhan sees that Augie is getting attacked. We'll fire at the same human again.
Hit. And that's a killing blow. And you can describe as in any way you choose. I'll leave that up to you guys, but that was a killing blow.
Siobhan's shot nails she fires the arrow, rips through the air, punches into the angry human, number one's throat, and with a gurgling sound, the human drops to the ground.
Hooray!
Huzzah! And she would move up to the edge of the trees and then take her action. Sorry. She would take her cunning action to hide.
You need to more effectively break line of sight to try and hide that way.
Running through the trees.
That's not going to be sufficient. That close,
Okay.
10 feet away. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. She's gonna just move there
Fair enough.
and pulls out her daggers as she moves.
Gonna get pokey.
Yep.
So this human runs up, circling around behind, and tries to stab at Oglavone with his spear, trying to take you out at the knees. He manages to lodge the spear right in the back of your calf. It definitely hurts. And they are definitely jumping on you as best they can. Forgot to click advantage on that one. And as you try to turn around at that human, he stabs you in the leg. They're definitely focused on your legs. They're trying to stab you in every way they can. And
Great.
take your knees. And the next one misses as you go down or spin around to dodge. So they've managed to stick you twice with their spears, though.
Okay, so is Oglavone within 5 feet of the angriest human?
Yes.
I'd say so.
Not what I wanted to hear.
Half a square, so 2.5 feet away.
Okay, I'm going to I'm going to plead with the leader again to stop. We ask your men to lay down their arms. We only want to talk.
Now, he's still under the influence of your spell. You don't need to recast suggestion. It's just the
Right.
lasting effect of.
It's a concentration spell, right? So, I'm gonna cast. So, do I see any reaction from him when I say that?
Yes, he's definitely seems to be coming out on the side of the magic, but it's a torn look on his face trying to resolve these two conflicts, but the magic seems to be overwhelming him.
Okay. All right. So in that case, I am gonna go ahead and attack this guy that's on the other side of Oglavone. Yeah. That doesn't do it. That's all I got.
So as you finish your turn there, if you trying to call out to him, you notice that the man starts to come over and ask his compatriots to please stop. You guys need to talk, have this conversation. But the rest of them seem to be flying into a barbarian-like rage and are completely ignoring him. Especially having their friend just shot through the eye. They are just launching an attack. But you do notice that one of them points at you and says, "Kill the little witch." And then the angry human runs by Oglavone and throws his spear at you.
Attack of opportunity, Augie.
Yeah.
Untarget the angriest human before you attack.
Yeah, you can reach him as he runs by. You can take a swipe with your hammer. You'll just need to untarget whichever one you have. I'll clear your target for you. You'll just need to retarget the one down there by Dimble. You can go ahead. The targets are good.
Okay.
And that's a hit. As he runs by, you connect with him with your hammer. Nicely done. And as that hammer hits him, his shot goes wide and the spear goes over Dimble's head, missing him.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Augie's pissed.
Is it rage? This is rage.
That's a hit. It should all automatically
It did.
apply. The advantage won't because it's
No. Her to hit advantage strength. Not that. Sorry for the checks and everything. But it's supposed to give her a +2 to strength. Period. It should have added to her +2 to melee attack and damage. And it didn't,
doesn't.
'cause
It doesn't.
to damage.
It gives +2 to damage. It doesn't give +2. It's all calculated in.
Okay. Yeah, my bad.
Is he bleeding out or what?
You definitely connect with him, but he's not bleeding out.
Okay.
Who did you attack?
She hit the leader, the angriest human.
Well, he's definitely not telling him to stop now.
Isn't he the one that just threw the spear?
No, that was Angry Human number 3, the one that you did your whatever on.
Well, that's my bad.
It's all right. No worries.
I mean, we'll get him a band-aid. I tell you, gonna be okay.
Yeah. It's all good.
We'll talk it out.
Matthias will step around Dimble and like stand between him and the charging angry human. Whap him with the mace. Out of curiosity, does this count as flanking?
It does, so you get advantage.
Hooray!
Yellow. Hey. There you go. He's not casting the
Nice.
spell.
Opportunity is an opportunity, and that's a hit. You dropped a 2, by the way, which would have been a miss, so definite gain for your positioning. You got a successful hit.
Don't forget unless you don't have any strength.
No, I'm quite weak.
Don't be
Okay.
judging people.
I am.
Fun fact, Matthias has the least amount of health in the
Fun fact. So the angriest human seems to be knocked a little out of his spell there as he gets attacked, but he still seems torn, and it leaves him stunned for this round. But he has definitely stopped pleading to not kill you. He's definitely not pleading for your survival anymore.
Shaban sees how the battle is going and moves down to flank the angry human number 9.
Okay.
And will attack with her daggers. I assume that's a hit.
That is a hit. You're not targeting anyone now.
Sorry.
It's fine.
I thought I clicked on it, but I had unclicked them. So I already had.
Yeah. You got screwed hard enough in the last game. It's probably still messing you up.
And then with her second dagger, she will stab the guy again.
Hit.
Oh yeah, good roll.
That'll be... Yep, that'll be the end of her turn.
All right, and feeling little pokes in the back, he spins around. He doesn't seem to enjoy you very much. And he seems to have no qualms about hitting a woman in a dress.
There we go.
And misses with his spear. As they continue to try to take Oglavon's knees out and bring him down to their level. Big ass Goliath. And he manages to, this time, he misses your leg and he stabs you in the boot. Leaves a little hole in your boot and stabs you in the foot.
Number 10 does?
Number 10 does. He stabs you in the toe. And number 7 again tries to stab you and misses. I mean, he's trying to get you, but you're too dodgy.
Scary.
Stupid.
That's got to be turned into a sound effect.
What?
Stupid. Alright, I'll be up late tonight doing that. Dimble, it's your turn.
Yep.
All right, giving up on the leader, he is going to point his twig wand at Angry Human 3 and say, Shavu! What? Wow. 2 1s in a row.
Damn.
You got them all out of your system now, hopefully.
I'm going to stay there.
We are going to be introducing a fumble chart eventually. Not yet. And for those of you who've never seen a fumble chart, they're very enjoyable. I don't know if you use them, Chad. I enjoy them greatly.
Dimble's hand explosion.
That's the gist of it. But it's basically when you roll a natural 1, the game should automatically roll it on a table and give you the result of your fumble. So what happens when you roll a natural 1? You hit a friend or drop your weapon. It'll be enjoyable.
Awesome. You should do that.
Hit yourself in the nuts.
No, it's not
good
so
times.
awesome. I've played in his games where natural 1, you hit your partner, especially if you have a bow that's enchanted and you're a rogue. Not fun.
He actually mortally wounded a party member.
Oh my gosh.
You can't help the one. And it's just like fine, so you roll the damage, you're like, fuck! But don't forget, and then Tony remembers it. Don't forget your sneak attack. God damn it!
He finally remembers.
Tony usually does.
Now give it a choice. Matthias stepping forward. The angry human pulls another spear off his back and stabs at Matthias. He doesn't get advantage. There's no one close enough, but he does connect.
Uh-oh.
Not too terribly strong, but at a quick glance, I don't know how zoomed in you guys are on your map, but I've been considering a couple options. I think I'm gonna stick with a dot. But for you, Oglavone, like if you look at a glance, the angry human to the left, number 9, see that red dot down there? That's an easy way for you to just take a glance and know which one's more injured, yellow,
Yeah, I
red, or
figured
green.
that out.
Just I was cycling through the options, so I left that on there. So just an FYI, I don't know what I had on before. Maybe that.
Hey, you have 2 people targeted right now.
All clear. Okay, this looks like angry human 10. See, just because he stabbed you in the boot, you got to pick on him.
You get advantage if you attack 9, because he's flanked right now.
I know, but I feel like if I get number 10 out of the way, then you can just go ahead and flank the next guy.
And he stabbed her in the boot.
Hella rude.
Fuck.
By the way, I turned on the table since everybody liked the idea.
Nice.
So, natural 1, and the result, did that come up? Oh, it doesn't. You rolled a 2 on the table, which is just automatic miss, which is apparently nothing negative. I don't know what's in this table, but we're going to find out together.
Oh, God.
Together. Lovely.
Alright, Matthias will hit this guy in front of him with mace again. Because he's creative like that.
If it works, it works.
All right.
That's a killing blow. You drop him.
Just good old-fashioned mace straight down on the top of the head.
That'll do it.
As a bonus action, can I cast Field of Faith on Oglavon?
If it's a bonus action, you can do it.
It is.
Okay, so I believe it's a +2, is that correct?
Give me a second. I think I that just messed up?
I believe, let's see, Matthias. I don't know if, do you have him?
You didn't target him.
You'll have to target him and then click it again.
My targeting's kind of messed up. Hang on.
Alright, I'll take care of it. Now just click it. I fixed it for you.
Very much.
Alright, so now, Oglavone, your armor is boosted up from 17 to 19. Now you're even harder.
There you go.
Now, let's, the angriest human seems to come to the conclusion that you guys are indeed not friendly folk. And he is going to join the battle against you. But I did another save when the attack. So the spell isn't incredibly specific. The condition having been met that he did talk to you and he did drop his weapon, the spell has effectively been met, but the power of the spell, and especially you having been tried to mostly leave him alone, I'm going to impose a lasting effect on him that he is going to have disadvantage when attacking you guys, but it's going to be canceled out by the advantage. So he's basically going to be denied his advantage that the rest of the group gets from your spell there, Dimble.
Got it.
And he definitely misses. Oglavone.
Siobhan feints to the left and stabs at Angry Human 9 again with Brazier.
Say again?
She's going to feint to the left and then stab again to the same human with Brazier, her dagger.
Okay.
Hold on. Take a lucky.
Okay. That's a hit.
And it's a hit. Seeing that he drops, she, with the follow through, spins around and stabs number 7, aiming for his kidney with her offhand.
Okay. You didn't have him targeted. I'll apply that damage.
Yep, hold on one second. Make sure it wasn't a 20 because it was supposed to be advantage there when she moves up. But, yep, there she goes.
They continue to try and take you out, and he manages to poke another hole in your boot, but this time he goes in the other boot, so your socks are definitely going to be wet with one hole in each boot, but they seem to definitely be targeting your legs. And number 7 turns and attacks Shaban. They seem to maybe want to carry you off, but you notice that when he stabs at you, he tries to use the butt of his spear, attempting to do non-mortal damage for whatever reason that happens to be.
And when he stabs with the blunt end, Shaban says, I assume that you stabbed just as easily with your other spear, and looks down at his groin.
Damn.
What would that be? Can I do a skill check on that? Come on.
Yeah, you can do a little intimidation, see if you can intimidate him.
The whole party in the background's like, oh!
Oh, snap. Daddy.
When he works his way back around to number 7, presuming he's still alive, we'll give him disadvantage for the wiener shaming he just received.
Wiener shaming. Wow, that's. You need to create an entry in the player's handbook for that. All right, so
There should be.
wiener shaming. All right, Dimple is gonna point his wand at the one that's on the far side of Oglavone and say, "Snout band." Fire off his
Hit.
spell.
There you go.
A bolt of force fires off and hits him right in the shoulder.
Nice.
Hey, I'll be right back. Gotta give the boy a kiss.
Hit. And that definitely, as he's turned around facing Lady Shaban, feeling bad about his wiener stabbing skills, he gets his hit in the head with a maul from behind, and if you want to cut him in half or not, that's up to you, but it definitely gives him a bad day.
I'm not gonna cut him in half. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill him and his little wiener schnitzel.
There's a savage ass group. Not even gonna kill you, they're gonna shame you.
It's a shame killing.
She took his dignity. I took his life.
God damn.
Wow.
Right?
Matthias will cast Healing Word on Oglavone.
Thank you.
That's it.
And the angriest human, he will not get advantage, and he attacks Oglavone.
I'm back.
Manages to connect there, and he's wielding a great axe. It seems a little more effective than the others, but you're still pretty upset. Raging there, so you're still taking half damage. And what you missed was Oglavone took the life of the person whose dignity you took.
Nice. So seeing that, Shaban steps over behind the angriest human. As she comes up to him, she hits both knees and kind of does a baseball slide in and stabs the angriest human, aiming for a kidney.
What's your problem with kidneys, dude?
It's a good place to hit. Supposedly, if you get stabbed there or something, you're pretty much done. You're like, oh! So she takes her brazier and goes after his kidneys.
Kidney punch is literally the worst.
Hold on. Okay, I forgot to do advantage, so.
It's a hit, and I'll roll this damage up here.
And then she takes her. And then she takes her other dagger and aims for his other kidney. Actually, this one, when she comes in, she stabs him with the first one, and then she tries again, but not aiming for the kidney, just to stab him. Hold on. Okay. Well, that was the advantage. Hold on. Yeah, definitely gonna do the my second lucky.
All right, second lucky it is. Hits.
Looking defensively to the angriest human.
Okay. And the Destroyer of Boots definitely doesn't seem to enjoy Oglavone. And he would have hit you if it weren't for Matthias's magical shield. But he bounces his spear, and it gets right close to your skin, but is deflected by some magical field that's recently appeared around you.
Shield of pure faith. If you believe the spear won't hit you, it won't.
That's exactly how it works.
All right, Dimble will point at the angriest human, and he'll say, "Save him. We need to ask him questions, but subdue him." And then he'll turn and scream "Snout Band" again and cast another spell.
It's a definite hit. It almost stopped on the 8.
I know, it did. Almost stopped on the 8. All right, Oglavone.
You can try to deal non-lethal damage, which is just a regular attack, and knock him unconscious, and then once he's down, you can tie him up. Give me 1 second. I need to... Okay, that's a definite hit. Got your damage. He's definitely... I mean, he's taken some blows, but he seems substantially more resistant than the other barbarians there.
I scoots around behind this guy and back of the head with him. Oh, I forgot advantage.
That's a hit. Go ahead and roll again, see if it's a crit.
So close.
He goes down. I'm not sure how that guy got at it. I think I was trying to delete some.
You deleted the wrong one.
His life's transferred.
Oh, okay.
It was a duplicate. They were exact same.
Okay.
Yeah, it should still show him the same wounding level and everything, but the effect of the spell seems to be wearing off, and he goes into what is called a rage, a reckless rage, which, for all intents and purposes, he gets advantage on all of his attacks against anyone this turn, and until the start of his turn, any attack made against him, range, spell, any attack, you get advantage. So everyone who attacks him will get advantage, but in exchange he gets advantage, which he uses on Oglavone, which he considers to be the biggest threat.
He don't know Lady Siobhan then.
And again, tell you what, you can buy Matthias a drink.
And
18, which is just enough to hit you if you didn't have a shield around you.
Shaban sees him follow through, and she snaps out with her foot to catch him on a knee, almost like she's trying to pop up. And then as she comes up, she uses her other knee to try to knee him in the face. Sneak attack will be on the second one, since I'm trying to put his nose back to the back of his head, and it's going to be subdual, Tony.
Okay. That's a hit.
There you go.
She knees him in the face. His nose starts bleeding everywhere. His eyes are closing up.
Matt, you're showing your age using words like subdual. That's not a word anymore.
I know, but still.
It's because you're old.
I know. You're not just as old. You're almost as old.
You're like 63 or some shit.
Split
Someday
those around, jackass.
you'll be as old as Matt.
Yeah, someday, many fucking days.
But never as sexy.
Okay.
One day you'll be the same age.
All right, so Dimble will aim his wand at this leader and say Zounderkite, and he'll cast that same spell, hoping he has enough hit points left.
That's a hit. Got the 9, and it doesn't drop him.
And Dimble will scream, "Yield! Fall to your knees!"
He growls at you and yells in your direction. Alright, Ogie.
Ogie hits him with the back of his sword as hard as he can.
That's a hit.
Nice roll.
Back of
And
his sword.
Yeah.
you rerolled with your hammer.
Can I do the back of my hammer?
You just hit him with your hammer. It's all just a big chunk of metal.
Well, I don't want him to die.
Well, you
try
hit
not
him on
to
the
kill him.
shoulder then. Don't hit him on the head.
I was working off the assumption that you guys wanted to take him alive, so I was assuming you were doing, non-killing damage.
Can I break his kneecaps? I mean, not in the face.
Go for it.
You take him
Can I
down.
break his kneecaps?
So you incapacitate him. You reduce him to one kneecap, unconscious, and beaten up. He
I'll
falls
give
to
him
the
one
ground. His axe drops next to him.
Tie him up.
Okay. Somebody ties him up.
I will. Do you want a dex check?
That'll work.
Fitness launcher would spare the dying, like revive him.
Once we tie him up.
Yes.
He's not dying, he's just unconscious.
Yeah.
He's not. It won't revive him, but it will You could cast it if you're worried about him dying. It wouldn't necessarily do anything particularly effective at bringing him back to consciousness.
I see.
Probably your medicine check would be, if you have a medicine check, would probably be more in that line.
All right.
So while he's still taking a nap, Shaban will freaking loot the corpses.
Okay, I'll drag it over.
You want me to roll perception or investigation?
Give me a perception.
When you're ready, I want to this guy.
You're gonna interrogate him?
Mm-hmm. I have an idea.
I'll slowly kill him. Malpractice, apparently.
It wasn't a 1. You're still good. You're not supposed to poke him in the eye, Matthias.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
It happens to all of us, dude. Mostly Matt, but all of us.
That's not what Tasha says.
I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick, so I'm gonna get back to the interrogation here in a minute. So let's take about a 2-minute break, potty break, and we'll start back up.
Sounds good.
So for all intents and purposes, Tony, he has like 1 hit point left.
He says yes.
Okay.
Thimble's gonna nudge Saban and wink at her and say, "Follow my lead." When Tony gets back, I want to do something. Go ahead.
User in your channel timed out.
Uh-oh.
I'm back. What do we need?
So if we're ready, I want to go ahead and do something to this
I'm
guy.
ready.
Well,
All right,
Matt
cool.
just timed out.
Oh, match is timed out?
Yeah, he lost his connection, I guess.
Probably downloading too much gay porn or something.
At time or the place.
You never know with Matt.
Well, I
You
wanted
can
to...
go ahead and interrogate. He'll hop back in when he can.
Yeah, okay. All right, so what I want to do, I want to walk up to him and just smile. I'm going to cast, I'm going to say, Gobbermouth, Stamp Crab, Scubblebotcher, Wiffle Waffle. And as I do that, I'm going to cast Prestigitation. And I'm going to have green gas come out of his nose slowly in a stream. And I'm going to grab it between my two hands in like a globe. And I'm going to smile at him and then run over here and say, a soul. I finally have a soul.
So initially, when you walk up, he's obviously bloody. He doesn't particularly give any shits about you guys. He doesn't seem to be overly worried about you. He's pretty defiant. And when you start casting your spells, he looks like he starts freaking out. And he starts trying to like strain against his bonds, and he's got this cornered animal look on his face. He definitely is not reacting well. And at the same time as Shaban's going through all of their gear and taking it, the sacks are filled with foodstuffs. And it looks like things like canned vegetables that have been canned by a farmer, but these guys definitely don't look like they're the canning type. Jars. But they've been sealed with various vegetables and some heavily salted meats, so it looks like they raided somebody's pantry pretty heavily. And he's freaking out, and he's trying to get away from you, and he's saying a stream of words that seem to be superstitious warding words to keep you away from him.
So I did that to give someone else advantage, or maybe more, on their persuasion or intimidation checks for questions.
Okay, if anybody wants to question, you can absolutely, if you want to, when you do, you will get advantage on any intimidation checks you make, for sure. Anybody want to hop in and ask the barbarian whatever questions you guys kept him alive for?
Where did he just raid from?
And if you want to, in your skills, you want to give me an intimidation check, and then click advantage at the bottom left, or click it, give me 2 checks, and I'll take the highest, whichever's easiest for you. Oh, that's a definite good check there. He seems to be intimidated by a combination of. Oh, I'm sorry. It'll be on the skills page, intimidation, but it's a +2, so it's effectively the same since that's your intelligence there. So we'll just save that. Take that 18. The modifier is the same. So we'll save your 18 just since you already rolled it. But he's definitely intimidated by a combination of Oglevone towering over him with a massive hammer and his soul, quote unquote, being over there in the little spiky haired creature's hands. And he says he basically conveys that they raided a farm about a half day's walk to the east. He refers to the farmers as weaklings, that they raided and stole some food from the weaklings.
Who lives there?
He refers to them as weaklings. He definitely, you get the impression that he didn't take time to ask their names. He just, it looks like they came out looking for someone to raid, steal from, and they found a farmhouse and went in, took what they wanted and left.
Ogie says, I think he's just a common thief off of his head.
Where did he come from? I must know. That's important for the soul.
So you're asking him where he came from, and he basically tells you from the forest. Give me a history check. I'm sorry. Let's see what I almost remembered what it would. Yeah, history would do. Give me a history check there, Dimble. So he tells you, and you know, he says from the wood, and you guys know from the westwood that, and I'm going to pull up the map here for you guys to have a good perspective, see if I can sync it up. If you have it still up, it's the woods to the south and west there, to the side of the long road. And you can see, and you know, Dimble, that there are bands of barbarians that have lived here for a long, long time. This particular, and as you start looking around, you see that he has a necklace, a totem necklace with horns on it. He is a barbarian from the Elk tribe. They do raid settlements occasionally. It's kind of part and parcel with living this far away from some civilization, some strongholds of civilization. But other than the occasional raid for food, they don't have any type of ill
User
intent.
entered your channel.
They're definitely creatures that raid for necessity. They're not farmers. They're hunters and raiders.
I'm back. Tony boot me, Jesus.
Whoa! Don't blame me.
No, my modem just randomly reset.
So do we want to ask him any more questions? So Matt,
What?
basically we intimidated this guy into
Hold on
telling
a
us
second,
where-
sorry. Tony, can you boot me out so I can come back in?
Absolutely.
There you go.
It's the best I got.
So we intimidated this guy, telling us that they had raided some farms west of here, and they're from the Westwood. He's part of the Elk tribe. I cast prestidigitation to get green smoke out of his nose and said it was his soul. So, what do you think we should do?
So, do we know where the area was that they raided?
About a half-day walk away
To the west?
to the east. They raided east. Now they're heading back west.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
What did they take? Just loot? Normal loot?
Food. I put it on the party sheet in the equivalent of 20 days worth of rations. It's meat and jars of vegetables.
Is your Shaban standing behind him? Should be still. Says, is your people starving? Or
He
are
va-
your people starving?
He
Sorry.
conveys that it is the right of the strong to prey upon the weak.
She leans a little bit closer and says, "You then are the weak," and stabs him in the back of the skull, severing his spine.
It's one way to end your life.
I approve this message.
I figures you got 1 hit point left. I got it.
And he gurgles a little bit, and as he dies, he kind of reaches out his hand, and his last words are, "My soul."
He deserves it. Fucker.
All right, we never gave that back to him.
No.
You're not Dimble?
No, and it wasn't anything anyway. It was just prestidigitation.
What?
Doesn't deserve to bring it back.
He cast an illusion spell to make him think he stole his soul.
Oh, no. I meant take the food back to the place we raided.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody was having that conversation.
Yeah, I was like, no, go for it. I don't give a fuck what you do. I want to know if the party's okay with returning the food to the farm that was raided from.
Yeah.
And see if we may be able to heal some people.
Yeah.
Sure. Sounds good.
Makes total sense.
Okay. He's like, no. What the fuck?
The party turned evil while you were away.
I apparently so. Taking out this raider just made Dimble evil as shit.
It's our shit now.
I ain't going after the elk tribe. Screw that. See you guys.
And for our next event, we raid Red Large. Raise it to the ground.
There we go.
Alrighty, so you guys are going to head out to the east and wander and look for a homestead. Is that what I gather?
Well, we got the general direction they came from, so we could try to follow their trail back since we have somebody with such a good survival.
Okay, if you want to track them, you got about half a day left. If you guys are looking to track them, I'll need a survival check, which I think Oglavone has the best. So, Oglavone, if you want to give me... Actually, Shaban and Oglavone looks like you guys got about the same, but if you want to give me a survival check and give me another one, and we'll treat it as advantage with you two working together.
Awesome.
And we'll keep that 13, and they definitely didn't seem overly intimidated. You're able to track them, and right towards the end of the day, you're able to, again, they said about half day, you're able to come upon a homestead that looks like it's suffered a little bit of burning. One of the buildings is burnt, but it's not burnt down. But you're able to find what you presume to be the homestead after you take a look at it. That's a bit big. And you come upon them, and you see two younger humans, maybe 13, 14 years old, with some old swords. And as you make your way there, they call out to you to stop and announce who you are, because they seem to be wanting to keep you as far away as possible. But you can see there's damage not only to that building, but the field of crops.
Shaban would step in front of the party with their hands held wide and say, "We come as friends. We have taken revenge upon the party upon the group that has come here to raid. We've brought back the provisions to see if there's any help we could provide you."
So the two younger boys take a look at you, and they're not. They seem to be unsure how to take you at first, and finally they whisper back and forth, and the older one says, "Okay, send one person forward and show us the stuff that was stolen to see if that's true." And you kind of stuttering a little bit.
Shaban would reach out, take the bag from Augie, and walk up towards them very slowly to not startle them into doing something crazy. When she gets close enough, she sets the bag on the ground, then backs away, probably about 5 feet or so.
Okay. Now, as you move up a little bit, you do notice that, let me pull this up for myself, that they are humans. The younger child takes a look at you and looks in the bag and then says, That's what they stole. I can tell Mama's carrots. He said, you should probably come inside.
I'll be right back.
Shaban would look at him and says, Don't you think you better ask your mother if that's all right first?
And he kind of looks you over a little bit and then finally says that he's allowed to make these decisions, kind of puffs himself up a little bit and points in the direction.
Give me 1 second. Someone's at the door, but yeah, I'd follow him in.
And he kind of motions for all of you guys to come on in. So I'm assuming everybody heads in. Is that a safe bet there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dimble will walk in. Yeah, sure.
Okay, and you walk in. As you go in, you can tell there is about one small corner of the field was lit on fire from the building that was partially damaged. A lot of the crops were trampled, but not the damage is mostly superficial. It looks like they were able to address it pretty quickly. And as the little boy leads you guys to the main house, and as you head in, he kind of starts calling for his parents, and a younger woman in her 20s kind of rushes into the room, and on her apron she has a little bit of dirt and a lot of blood. And she kind of looks you guys over. She's definitely shocked when she sees you, but she takes a second, steels herself, kind of whispers to the younger man, and looks you guys over again, kind of assessingly. And then she moves forward and holds her hand out and says her name is Nolzin. And she says that this is her parents' farm. And she thanks you. I'm presuming you guys turn over the goods there.
Yeah.
And she thanks you for the goods and asks if any of you are skilled in healing.
Matthias
Shaban-
raises a hand.
Yeah. Shaban steps back and allows Matthias an opening.
I am. What's wrong?
She says that her husband was injured in the raid, and he seems to be developing a fever from the stab wound.
Matthias nods and says, show me to him.
So she moves past the child into the back room, brings you back, and her man about the same age. He's got about the same facial features as no one else in the room. So you can definitely tell they're not family. And she points to him, and he's laying up. He's got a stab wound in his side. It looks like it may have got into his abdomen a little bit. And she tells you his name is Orth. And he looks like he is pale, but also fevered.
Okay. Now, for a quick question. Would you say lesser restoration would assist in this, as it can remove disease or conditions?
I would say that's exactly what would address this.
Okay, so Matthias will, go to his side, maybe check him over a little bit, place a hand upon his forehead, mutter some words, and cast lesser restoration upon this man.
Okay, and as you're casting the spell, the rest of the party starts making their way in, and they are able to witness as he starts to regain color and start to sleep a little more soundly. And the woman seems, on edge, and she starts to, as the magic starts to take effect, she starts to look hopeful. As you finish, the two boys are making their way in, as well as an older woman and an older man. And they begin to make their way over to you and thank you profusely for helping, as well as the older man makes his way over to Oglavone, which he assumes to be the leader of the group, and says, "Thank you very much for returning our goods. Where did you find them?"
We found some bandits not too far up the road, and we were able to recover your food.
And he again says, "Thank you very much for returning them. Many would have kept them." And he really profusely thanks you, offers to provide you rest and dinner and anything you guys need in return. And the young woman whose husband was sick thanks you very much for healing her husband there, Matthias, and asks if there's anything you guys need, and says if you do need anything at all, she will absolutely help you.
Oglavone says it's our pleasure, and he thanks him very much.
Shaban would speak up and says, "Well, as far as dinner, we would only be able to accept if you allowed us to help contribute to the meal as well, since we are a large group and it, large sized," and kind of looks over at Oglavone. "We wouldn't want to deplete your stores any more than normal."
Basically, he called you fat.
Oglavone smiles and said yes, and I'm sure one in our group might also like a bathhouse. Looks over at Lady Siobhan.
Ooh.
Oh, snap. As you can tell, we have been traveling for many days, and a bath would greatly enhance all of our smells, and looks pointedly at Oglavone, who has not taken a bath in the last 2 months.
Oglavone chuckles and said, yes, we're not carrying fish here.
You want to go there?
As though I thought your poo-poo stink. Go get in the bath.
Hey,
Oh,
don't be smelling my poo poo, really, because my poo poo. After we're done here, Tony, me and her are gonna fight. I'm just saying.
I'm not in this.
I can't help it. That dress is just wafting it all about.
Sure.
Now scamper on and wash your
Now,
poo-poo.
it's at least been a month since we've been playing this game, and we've been a party for much longer than that, and nobody has seen you take a bath or even remotely.
All right, kids,
Do anything.
let's bring this focus back to the game.
What the fuck?
We
We're
need
having
to
fun
limit
here.
the amount of discussion resulting in other party members' cleanliness of
He's probably
genitalia.
got some cheese growing out the end of his. Okay, let's go back to the game.
My shit smells just fine.
For the record, Chris, or Chad, I'm sorry, you can play this for any of your group anytime they think they are inappropriate. All right.
I think Chad's in shock. He's like, fuck it, I'm done.
No, it's awesome. Hilarious.
Okay.
All right. So the family kind of gives you guys a little odd look at your playful exchange, and he introduces himself as Nerdan Kandur, and he says this is his farm. He introduces his wife Zai, and his two sons Corp and Cam, and his daughter Nulzin and her husband Orth. And they decline your offer for assistance. He says that you've assisted as much as possible, as much as anybody could ever ask, and anything that they could offer you that would be less, they would cost them less than what they would have had lost had you not returned their food. So they send their sons off to start heating up water for poo washing and so forth, and start his wife making more food. She was already cooking dinner, and in rapid succession you guys are able to clean all of your body parts and sit down to a nice home-cooked meal, get full bellies, and the spell seems to have had the exact effect you were looking for, and he's the actual Man is actually able to wake up and actually get some broth down, administered by his wife, and get some food and start his mending there.
Shaban would look at the older man, the only man probably at the table, and ask, is the raids from the elk tribe common?
He wouldn't say it's common. He's heard about it. It happens maybe once or twice a year in the valley. It's not something that happens to every homestead. It's the first time it's happened to them. The biggest issue they've been having is droughts and minor earthquakes and occasional rainstorms they weren't expecting.
Seems pretty common for the general area between the too much water, not enough water, earthquakes, and the like.
Yeah, it definitely is there. It doesn't seem to be consistent. Usually it's a drought for a season or too much rain for a season, but this is too much rain for a week, a drought for 2 weeks type of randomness.
Shaban sits there and with a kind of a faraway look on her face as if she's contemplating something and continues eating.
Okay. And they offer to provide you guys any supplies that you might need.
Shaban would speak up. So we have plenty of supplies to get to our destination. We thank you, though.
Okay. And is there anything you guys want to talk to them about or anything before you take a nice rest?
With the party, I wanted to talk to something before.
Go ahead.
I don't want to talk to them. No, it sounded like Dimble was getting ready to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I'm gonna point out. This
You're breaking up, brother.
them if it looks familiar at all.
I apologize. I missed 80% of that.
Okay. I'm going to put out, maybe a little drawing of the symbol that we've seen on the armor from those, the Earth priests or whatever they are, and ask if they've seen anything like this.
We can show them the armor. We brought it with us, remember?
Well,
Good chunk
okay,
of it.
cool.
There you go.
There you go.
So they
Pull
take
out
a
the
look
armor.
at it, and they say, they pass it around, and they shake their head and say, no, they've never seen the symbol or armor of this nature. They're definitely not people that keep armor around, but no, they've never seen it or heard of anybody that has seen it. But if you'd like, they can ask around at the other homesteads, and maybe if you tell them where you'll be at, they could send word if they hear of anything.
Yes, that's a good idea. We eventually will make our way back to Red Larch.
Okay, he nods. The Nerdin nods and says he will make trips into Red Larch on occasion, and if he hears anything or learns anything about it, he will absolutely send information. And you notice that the younger kids are definitely mesmerized by specifically the massive Oglavone and his hammer and retinue of weapons, and just definitely amazed. Sorry about that, knocked some quarters off my desk. The little kids are probably the ones who would dream of being adventurers. They're definitely impressed by you guys, but other than that, they're very thankful for returning their goods and their son-in-law to health. Am I the only one Chad's breaking up for, or is it?
No,
something
he's
else?
breaking.
How's this? Are we gonna have dinner with them?
Yes, you guys.
That's what
They're
we've
going to
been talking.
provide you guys. Yeah, the dinner's on the table. You guys are kind of talking over dinner.
All right. So as we do that, Dimble's gonna cast minor illusion again and again and again to tell some of the stories of our adventures so far. Excitedly, definitely engaging the kids.
And it doesn't take too many minor illusions for them to find you more interesting than Oglavone. Your 15 minutes of fame don't last quite 15 minutes, Oglavone. The kids are much more entranced by the magic.
Oglavone gets out his big sword and waves it in the air.
In the kitchen.
In the fucking kitchen.
Back, look at me!
He goes, "Roar!
And
Look
no
at
one's
my
gonna
big
listen to it.
sword."
Look at my. Whoa, put that away. Kids don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now are they excited?
They're definitely excited. Oglavone pulls out his sword, letting out a little roar there, as the parents are in shock at the massive sword waving and the spells going along, but they're very thankful, so they tend to let it go a little bit, but they hurry the kids off to bed as they get maximized out on their excitement for the day, and they thank you very much, and they provide you guys some semi-comfortable beds for the night. Oglavone's feet hang over, and Dimble's feet reach about the middle.
Right before we go to bed, before Dimble turns over, he says to the group, "I'm so glad we're working together. Even though I'm going to outlive you by more than 100 years, I'm so glad we're friends. We're going to be friends until the day you die." And then he'll turn over and wrap himself in a sheet and go to sleep.
Wow.
And Shaban, after that extreme, the exclamation of friendship, Shaban goes, unless he pisses off the wrong person with his spells, and just kind of rolls over into her bed.
Oglavone grunts and rolls over and goes to bed.
Alrighty, you guys get another warm bed for the night. You guys seem to be quite capable of avoiding sleeping on the road for adventurers. We'll find a way into a bed one way or another.
Lady Siobhan will.
Hell yeah, she gets somewhere warm to sleep.
Damn.
Oh my.
And you guys managed to wake up refreshed, and they thank you again as you head off, and they greatly appreciate, and they tell you anytime you want to come back, you will be welcome.
Oglavone says, "Thank you very much."
And where do you guys want to go from here as you head out from the homestead?
You guys want to just head straight to the road again? We're covering the same distance, or do you guys want to go just straight south to Warmford?
Yeah, I think straight south makes sense.
Yeah,
Hopefully we don't get sidetracked again.
What's that?
Hopefully we don't get sidetracked too much again.
Hey, it happens.
It
You gonna have
happens.
Green Wing Scout?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay. So you guys travel, let's see, 1 hex, 2 hex, 3 hexes, about like that. About what I'm thinking, imagining you guys are aiming for.
Makes sense.
Yep, in that direction.
So give me a perception check for Mr. Greenwing there, please.
Sure. There you go.
Okay. As you guys are heading down, Greenwing relays some information that there is a destroyed wagon. Some rubble on the road about right here.
To the wagon.
Dimble nods.
Good thing.
Well, Dimble's the one that told us, so I assume.
Presuming he told you.
Yeah.
So you guys make your way over to the road, and it looks like, as Mr. Greenwing explained, it's 3 wagons, but they look like they have been pretty handily destroyed. They've been sacked, emptied. There's arrows and cut marks. The cut marks are a little weird. It looks like they were possibly done with a sword, but at the same time, where the slash marks are, there's also multiple puncture marks. It's a strange look. Those of you who've seen, all of you have seen sword slashes and so forth. You can tell, where an arrow hit or where an axe hit, where it's bit deep, or a sword is a slash. But it's clearly a sword, but it looks like it's also got puncture marks and a line right with the slash. It's a very strange weapon mark. In addition to that, you see some burns and some ice marks where it looks like it had frozen on the inside. Now this ice is residual. It looks like this is actually even a couple days old, but the fact that the ice is still residual, hanging just underneath maybe a step of the wagon. It's not a whole area that's ice, but you can tell the fact that it's still there indicates that it was magic.
Can I investigate that?
Absolutely.
Okay, what would you like me to use?
Give me a knowledge arcana, please.
My specialty.
It looks like it's the result of some type of sleet storm or spell-like. And it's probably a spell that was cast more than a day ago, but the residual effect seems to be hanging on. Like this area has some residual magic to keep it hanging on.
Damn, I'm not supposed to inspect shit. Sure. I'm gonna quit rolling before I get more ones. That's just to inspect the area, see if there's any, see how the battle went, or if anything came in, or would that be a survival, to what direction they went off in.
It looks like there was definitely some wounds. Somebody was killed, but from your looking around, it looks like there may have been a quick attack and people were carried off, but that's about all you can gather.
Do you know what direction? To see which direction they went to?
You can do an investigation check if anybody else wants to do an investigation check to see if you guys can determine which way the attackers came from and or were going.
Hold on. Better with the investigation.
Alrighty. So, yes, you are able to discern that the attack came from, and then they left this direction. There. Let's see, it'll pop up in a second. So they came from the north and east, and then left towards the north and east. The investigation check of a 22 there, Shaban, you're able to determine that they left with quite a few people.
Is there any way we could maybe anything around that maybe pointing to the Mirabar contention?
No, this looks like it's just a trader wagon. Looks like somebody that was carrying goods, a caravan there, just carrying some type of general travel merchant stuff.
Looks like they're heading in the general vicinity of.
Now that's about as far as you can track. That's not their exact path.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
a drawing to.
In that general, that's what I'm saying. That general direction is the direction we kind of just came from, so we know it looks like they're heading to the northeast a little bit. But if we want to follow that, then we're going to have Augie do his survival check to follow tracks.
That's correct.
And it looks like it's actually, the way he drew it, it's pointing towards the monastery.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I mean, we kind of know that they're in that direction. So we're following this instead of finishing up to Barge Right?
Well, what do you think? I mean, maybe we could go there real quick, because how long would it take to get to Wamford from here? Like 4 hours?
From here? Yeah, about 2-3 hours. Not too long.
But the longer we wait, the more chance there is of losing the tracks. You know, whether it's rain coming in or just wind or they go
Mhm.
over a rocky area, it's going to be, you know.
Sure. How long ago? Can we tell how long ago this battle went down?
Within the last 2-3 days.
Yeah, it's already 2 or 3 days old. The tracks are.
If we want to do anything with the wagon, we
you
need
guys
to do it now.
want to go through with it? Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. Following. I'll
You got an opinion there, Matthias, or are you just going with the flow?
Following along.
Alrighty. So, that's a pretty good 21 on the check there. I'm going to draw some passage. It's a word I created. It goes up about about 2 miles. They walk. Let's see, does that show up there? It did. Good. And it splits. The vast majority of the people trail off to the left. And it looks like the booted feet, the ones that were the aggressors, turn off towards the left. And a few, the soft booted feet, mostly some of the what you assume to be the prisoners, continue to the northeast. The tracks are showing signs of decay, so at this point you find yourself at a choice. It looks like a lot of the prisoners may have been walked northeast, whereas the path where whoever attacked seems to be curving back around towards the road.
You guys want to go? Shaban would be okay with going after the prisoners first and maybe hopefully catching these guys. You know, but Greenwing's doing the scouting, so send Greenwing along the north one, see if she can see anything.
Yeah. Can we tell how many went in each direction?
You would guess that the prisoners had about 15. The attackers had between 7 and 10.
Okay.
So, or we can send Greenwing after the larger party because they would be able to notice a little bit easier a large party, especially.
Greenwing can circle, but Greenwing's not skilled enough to follow tracks like this.
No, I'm saying, yeah, like circle her around to the north to see if she sees anything from, you know, half a mile up. She can see pretty far.
Okay. If you guys want to spend about an hour, let Greenwing circle around, I can let you do that.
If Dimble's okay with it.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So from this point, Greenwing starts circling. It takes about an hour, and Greenwing reports that there is a camp site set up right there. The indication of large groups of people is gone. And mind you, this was a day or two ago, so if they were marching people off a day or two ago, they're gone.
Yeah.
And not gone, just not gone from this hour of circling area type thing.
Does he see anything from the other direction? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
He does not, and they probably would have been out of his range had they kept walking.
Okay.
Do you guys want to go after that other party? I can do sneaky. We can have. Was Greenwing able to see approximately how many people are there? The 7 to 10 still.
He says they look like they're maybe 7 to 10. Was what he conveys. Okay. A group about that.
So do we eliminate the threat and maybe gain some information, or do we follow the prisoners?
If we don't, yes, this is the hard decision, but if we don't eliminate the threat, then there could be more prisoners overall, and then we can try to come back here to, depending on how long it takes us with this, try to come back and find where the prisoners are.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, preventative measures first, maybe.
What's that?
Start with the preventative measures.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Boggy?
Yeah, we should go get the bad guys.
Alrighty. So give me another survival check there, Augie, please. Alrighty. So you're able to track. Give me a perception check. Actually, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to try and start incorporating this. I don't know if you use this, Chad, but I think I'm going to start incorporating a little more. Do you use the automatic roll feature?
Every once in a while, yeah.
So I'll just leave this number blank, but I have the ability to roll skill checks for everybody like this.
Let me see mine before you call it a good, because I might want to reroll.
This should automatically show you. Did it not? Oh, I got you. I understand.
Nope.
I understand what
That's
I did.
mine. 6. I'll keep it as 16.
Okay. So, as you guys are marching, shortly thereafter, the crossroads, you guys found a shark tooth. An actual tooth of a shark that's pretty easy to identify, laying in the dirt.
Shaban would pick it up since and there's an inland sea where she's from, so I guess there would be some sort of large carnivore in it, Tony.
Definitely.
Okay. So she would say it's a shark's tooth. And let me do a knowledge real quick. Just intel check.
Yes.
She thinks she remembers something about maybe trying to use them as in or with weapons, but she's never seen anything like it. Would that be a good assumption on that roll?
That's a pretty good assumption. We can stick with that.
Okay.
So, as you guys are making your way, you find the shark tooth, and then you move forward, and you start to get an idea that you're nearing the camp. And off to the side, you do see, and give me a round of perceptions. I'll give you exactly how much, but give me a round of perceptions of yours. I'm not going to auto roll this one.
Hold on.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll use my second one. First lucky, second roll.
Okay, give me 1 second. I need to just copy and paste this picture real quick to make sure it's in the right place. There we go. So, off to the side, Shaban and Matthias, you are both able to identify a figure in the brush, and it's a very strange figure that it has a little trouble at first identifying it as a humanoid. So as you are able to identify it as a humanoid, you get a little closer. Shaban, you're able to
stealth?
You can do stealth, yes.
Okay.
You're able to first notice that it has a tail. Second, you're moving up. You're noticing it has nearby a horse tied up. It's wearing metal armor, and it has swords and bows and a number of different weaponry. The picture I'm sending is a non-armored picture, but it is wearing armor and carrying weapons. And this is the creature you see huddled in the bushes.
Like a lookout, or
Apparently, I didn't preload it. Give it a second.
oh, it's there. Nice.
So that's what you see. It looks like it's a humanoid version of a dragon. A dragon standing upright with spikes and armor and sword and all kinds of happiness going on.
How far away?
From this position,
From the
you're
camp.
from the camp or from the creature?
From the creature, and then approximately the camp.
You're not very far from the camp. You're maybe, if you yelled, they'd hear you. You're
Okay.
a couple thousand feet. Now, on the map, you guys could take a look. You're pretty close. It looks like the creature's looking at the camp. I'm going to throw you a map. Or actually, I'm going to hold that map. might hold that map off for this minute. So, what we're gonna do at this point is stop the game for one reason, that I want to wait until Tanner, who's going to be our new player, makes it. And we're going to stop right here with you guys having recognized and identified this creature ahead. And then this is where we're going to pick up with you deciding how to approach this. One, because it's 10:37, I don't want to start any battles. And two, I want him to be able to be here for this.
Real quick, what color is this humanoid shape? Dragon.
Bluish.
Blue.
Ish.
Okay. Ish.
Oglavone not even sure what he is, but I'm gonna intimidate the shit out of him.
Super far away, just like trying to be as
Right.
intimidating as possible.
Tell him his pooty poo stinks.
Right?
The pooty poo stinks.
Smells like humans.
Alrighty.
Smells like moldy shrimp.